2017 was definitely unprecedented in terms of the fire season we had. You know, obviously in terms of the amount of land we had burned, you know, north of 1.2 million hectares, a record for this province. And just in terms of the sheer area that was involved, the number of people, you know, who were affected, in the neighborhood of 65,000 evacuees over the course of the summer. Also making this, you know, the worst in our history by that measure, and the money spent as well, you know, and a lot of those costs are still, you know, being tallied, but we're looking, you know, over $560 million at this point. I think what was unique about this season and what made it so significant is that so many of these fires started in a single day. You know, July 7th of this year was when many of these major fires started, and the conditions we were seeing that day were just so volatile. You know, the rest of the season, from a statistical perspective, looking at the fires we had, was relatively average, and in a lot of ways I think we're still really feeling those effects in terms of the fires themselves, and of course the damage that's been left in their wake.
Out of 82 residing on reserve, 27 of us had lost our home due to the fire. 4 have now been situated back on a reserve, not in their original home, but in a home that was vacant at the time. So that leaves 24 of us that are still out there. We're living in hotels and motels. It's been heartbreaking if you're not here, right? I mean, we're tied to our land and we're tied to our surroundings, and this has, you know, greatly affected us. I mean, like, I've spent 21 years here and on this very spot, and we made it our home, right? I miss my house, like I miss everything about it. We made so many memories, and family and friends, and our loss is still fresh for us. We miss our homes, and we just want our lives back. Whatever that means for us, we just want to know our next steps. And it's hopeless because there's no sign of anything. Just empty lots. That's how I feel.
Looking at the last few years, things are getting more intense. Not necessarily in terms of the number of fires we're seeing, but just the size that they're growing to, the intensity that they're burning with, and just the overall complexities of the fact that a lot of these are happening in what we call the interface. So areas where there's communities or values that need to be protected.